LPJ Design presents.
Hey everybody, it's Lewis Porter Jr. I'm doing a quick little video as I'm driving to work very fast. You see the trees whiz by me on the side, moving very fast. Woo! Alright, let's talk about a fun topic, because this is something I've been doing a little thinking about and stuff like that. It's going to be women in gaming. So you know that's going to cause some problems already. That's not for the reasons you think. And this, I guess, it ties into the whole diversity with gaming things. A lot of people of late have been going screaming, diversity, 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 diversity. But what I've noticed is the diversity they're talking about is sexual orientation. Now, I don't want to break it to a lot of people. The numbers of, like I say, African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, or folks of a non-Caucasian persuasion are kind of low in the gaming sector. Now, their numbers gotten better. Don't kid anybody. They've gotten better, but they've always been small. Let's not kid anybody. These aren't massive numbers. You know, this isn't, you know, the numbers where you're talking like, you know, 50% of the people who play it are some minority. No. But apparently, which I found surprising and interesting, that sexual orientation has taken the place of diversity, which I thought kind of like, oh, okay, all right, I don't understand why that is, but I don't understand, you know, I don't get it, but okay, let's talk about it. It's a good topic, it's a solid topic, it's a respectful topic. And also tie in women, as you'll see in a second. I think women have become more into gaming, you know, definitely in the early 90s. You know, let's be honest, the folks who were at White Wolf did a great job recruiting people to play their game. Vampire was, I use the word was, an amazing seller. It was doing amazing. It had awesome numbers, and it had awesome, I can say almost 50-50, if not maybe even more, maybe even 60-40 female to male ratio. I mean, the numbers were pretty high, pretty impressive too, so you can't deny that. You know, now flash forward, what, 15, 20 years, you know, the numbers have gotten pretty, I guess they're closer, better now. I'd say, geez, this is a lot of guessing. You know, this isn't like scientific fact. It's all like, you know, what I've seen. I'd say, you know, 1 out of 5. You know, 1 out of 5 gamers are women, maybe even a little more. Maybe I'd be willing to go up to 3 out of 10. You know, 1 out of 5, 3 out of 10. It's in that range. You know, 25%. 25% is a good feeling number. It feels good. It feels good. Well, you know, the minority number on blacks is more like 10 or 12 to 1. I mean, the numbers are not great. You know, let's not kid anybody. You know, if you ever want to think about diversity, just look at a cover of role-playing game books. Just go back on all of them. Think about how many you've seen and how many people of color you see on them. You know, hey, the numbers are low. The numbers are low. And that's just the way. And now, flipping that script, how many people of a different sexual orientation do you see on the cover? Well, that's kind of interesting too. I think those numbers are low also. But you know, I said I don't know if I don't know if I play gaming with the sense of romance to always be involved in it. So I mean, you know, for me, your sexuality is who you choose to be with, who you're affectionate with, things like that. I don't know how that always ties into my role-playing games. But sometimes it does. I mean, sometimes it does. But not all the time, you know. But also, does being black apply all the time? Well, I don't know. Does it? I don't know. You know, I think it's really about what you want to see creatively speaking. I mean, for myself, I know for Neo Exodus, I wanted to see more women and more people of color. So the first thing I did, we basically made our 5 empires, our 5 main ones, and 4 of them run by women. And the last one's run by a black guy. You know, there aren't European white males running our empires, because I just thought, you know, why not have women run it? Why not? There's nothing wrong with women. I mean, you know, I've said it before and I'll say it again. You know, there's nothing more dangerous than a woman with a plan. The CIA has nothing on a woman with a plan. Let's just, you know, don't kid yourself. All you guys going, yeah, I can tell you haven't been dealing with the right women. But every woman I know is crafty. Like, holy cow. Maybe part ninja in the blood. I don't know what it is. It's something. I don't know. And it's just, I think there are way too many cool opportunities to get more women and more minorities involved. I think they're going to tell different stories, and it's going to have a different appeal. You know, I think that's an important aspect of it. You know, I think Paizo has really done their best to really approach those issues. I mean, those issues of diversity. Well, you know, I gotta call them out. We gotta call them out. You know, anytime I see the panel, I don't see a lot of guys look like me. I see a lot of girls look like me on the panel. You know, when I think of diversity, I want to see some color diversity. You know, let's change it up. You know, you can't just have, you know, one spectrum of people telling one story. And even worse, telling the same story over and over that you've already seen a million times. You know, other people have different experiences. Let's add them into this, you know, what I consider to be a very inclusive group called gaming. I mean, let's just be bluntly honest. Gaming is probably the most fun we're going to have with somebody. Well, maybe not the most fun, but it's in the top 5. We'll say top 5. So, like, why wouldn't you want to add more people to it, make it more inclusive, tell different stories, find different views of it? That's only a good thing. I don't think you have to cut people out of that. I think it's kind of fun. I think it's kind of cool. I think when done right, everybody is happy and everyone is involved. You know, there are a lot of good stories to be told by all different kinds of people. I mean, look at the book. Look at books. You know, books aren't written by one type of author. It's many different types of authors, many different types of stories, many different types of cultures. And I think that makes some awesome stuff. Now, D&D and Pathfinder are really kind of based on European concepts of fantasy and things like that. But it doesn't always have to be that way. You can include lots of different, as I know for myself, when I think about cultures when I'm building a campaign world or even a race, I think about things that we already know, we already accept, we already believe, but then putting a different spin on them. You know, I think a lot of it is really about capturing that spin, because that's where the real excitement is. You know, I've always wanted to do Native Americans in a gaming setting, but I kind of like I want to do the essence of what they are. You know, I don't want to make them they have to look like this, that, but the essence of who they are, what they believe, their, you know, the belief system, those kind of things, you know, the cultural identity. Those are things that I want to tie in. Those are things that I want to see involved. So when we talk about diversity and, you know, women, this is really supposed to be about women. See how it changes? See how it changes so quickly? Talk about women, change something else. I've never felt that you have to. I don't use the word discriminate, but that's not wrong. I don't acknowledge. I'll go with acknowledge. I don't think you have to not acknowledge people. I think, you know, everybody brings something to the table. And this goes back to my original thing. You know, women in gaming. How do you get more women involved in gaming and making them feel good about being involved? Because I mean, on the video game side, holy cow, man, Gamergate. What the? I'm just gonna put. I don't know everything. I didn't get into it. I thought it got really crazy, really too quick, and that's when I was like, "That's it. I'm done. I got other better things to do. My life's too short. I'm not gonna waste time on this foolishness." But my feeling is very simple. You know, you don't. If you gotta dox someone, you've got some other issues you're dealing with. You know, go see a therapist. Go get some professional help. You can disagree with somebody. You know, it's not a crime to disagree. Everyone doesn't have to agree with you, and you don't always have to be right. Just say, yeah, you know what, we disagree, that's cool, boom, bounce. But some of just the vileness of it all. And it's like, you know, it's definitely hatred. It's, you know, it's hatred of, someone's got straight up hatred of women. You don't talk to people like that. I mean, you could swap out the word women and put black, Hispanic, Asian, and those are the same things I've heard, you know. So I know that's about hate, you know. And it's just, I never quite understood why we as a group of people who want more people to play our games, to see more people see how cool our stuff is, more people to read our comic books, all that stuff, we act like horrible, horrible people to people who are new, different, and not like us. Dude, we want people to be inclusive. We want people, could you imagine, I mean, just imagine if the guys who made anime, I mean, we're talking, I'm gonna go back to, I'll go with Star Blazers, because that was the first one I thought. Could you imagine if back then they told me, F you all, you can't watch this, this isn't a real cartoon, you're not a real cartoon guy, because you're not Japanese, and this is, you can't watch this, we're not going to cover any of this stuff. I mean, like, holy cow. Dude, how much cool stuff did we watch? That was awesome, because it was awesome. And you're like, oh, you got to check this out, it's awesome. And to take this attitude of, you know, I'm going to just say abuse. just doesn't make sense to me. I want to be inclusive. I definitely want to be inclusive in stuff I do. I want people to be involved in stuff I do. I want people to say, hey, you know, I got a great idea. You should do this. I'm like, that sounds like a cool idea. Let's do this. I don't care if you're male or female. You know, if you got a cool idea, have a cool idea. But I'll tell you right now, I'd like more women to approach me and say, hey, you know, I want to do work for you. I mean, we've had a couple reasonable, but it's at the same time, I'm always like, am I doing something wrong? Am I not appealing to enough women? Am I doing something wrong? I mean, one thing we did wrong that I actually admit, I admit this is something I didn't think was such a big deal until I really sat down and thought about it for a little bit. We had a book we had called World of Exodus. It's our intro book for New Exodus. And the picture up on it was a woman who was pretty, I wouldn't say scantily dressed, but definitely, you know, over boobage, the whole deal. It happens. And I put out, I told people, hey, you know, I got this book, you might want to check it out. What do you think? And people gave me responses that I was really surprised with. But then it made me had to think. They were like, you know, I might have picked it up, but the girl on the cover is a little too much. I don't know. It really didn't appeal, and it really kind of touched me. It kind of touched me, you know, as a game designer and a publisher, and now as a father. I mean, I don't have a daughter, but I'm a father. I have a son. I understand. It's like, is this something that you'd want to show to little girls and get them to go, yeah, I want to play that? Or is it something to go to guys? I mean, let's be blunt. You go, yeah, she's a hot piece. I mean, let's call it like it is. And the piece was more for like, she's a hot piece. And that wasn't what I was trying to, you know, put. I wanted some cool artwork. And I got some cool artwork. And, you know, misogynist? Yeah, probably. I'm going to admit it was probably a little misogynist. But I don't think I was trying to go for that. I was just trying to say, look at this cool artwork with this cool picture. And, you know, and I probably did offend some people. You know, if I offended you, I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to. So that's why I redid the cover. We picked one of our iconics that we had, our swashbuckler. And I think a lot of people saw it, and I think we're a little more like, oh, this is a pretty cool cover. What's this? I haven't seen this before. And I think it has helped out me personally. I mean, it helped me out. It made me feel better. Now, don't get me wrong. I think you can have cheesecake photos, and I think you can have very, very well. I think it needs a good, fair mix. If all of your stuff is like, you know, bad porn, that's not what you're trying to go for. But if it's, you know, one porn picture, 20 pictures of normal stuff, no one's gonna freak out on that because, you know, hey, one is not gonna kill anybody. You know, I think it has to be a balance. It has to be acceptable balance and done well. You know, just even when I'm thinking about, you know, who's leading what thing, who's fighting who with that thing, I try to make sure that, you know, it's an even mix of just, you know, men and women, which something I didn't realize when I was doing my iconics. We have 6 women and 6 men, and I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that. At one point, it was actually what was it? I was 4 men and 6 women, and I was just like, oh, I didn't know I was doing so many female characters. I just, you know, think about it, just another character, boom, splits out, iconic, yeah, fit, female, great, boom. And I didn't realize that so many, you know, the number was that kind of skewed. So I said, okay, let's put it back to more of a 50-50, which I think is reasonably exciting. And that's reasonably fair. And I was, you know, like I said, I thought it was interesting that I didn't notice that number until I really looked at it and noticed that number. So, it's one of those kind of things. I'm pulling into work right now. Oh, parking next to one of my coworkers. Let me see if it's Gail. It is Gail. See, Gail's pretty fun. She watches The Walking Dead. She's a Walking Dead fanatic. So I can do these videos and she doesn't think they're crazy. So I'll get up. Maybe we'll talk to her. We'll ask her about, you know, watching these shows. Maybe she can give me like a woman's perspective. Oh, if I can post it on my car. Not turn off my video when I'm taping this thing. Good morning. I know. I've been doing. I'm doing my podcast. I have a podcast I do. So you're on now my podcast. And since you watch The Walking Dead, say hi. Since you watch The Walking Dead, and you are. Oh, forgot to lock my doors. That might be important.
Yeah.
Well, you know. I wouldn't say ghetto, but I would say ghetto. You watch The Walking Dead. You like it a lot. And you're a girl, a woman.
Thank you.
Well, you know, that's what I'm here for. Why do you like it so much? And do you think it appeals to women? Let's put it that way.
one appeals to this one.
No, that is important. I understand that. But
Well,
do you think?
it appeals to my 5-year-old mother.
Okay, so your mom likes it. You like it.
It's not about like the gore and the violence, even though that's perk.
It's the.
I grew up on horror movies.
Okay.
But it's about the characters and, you know, we feel for them.
Oh.
We want them to survive.
Or die.
Well, if they're a douchebag, yeah, you want them to die.
So you never know. You never know. It's amazing. All right, I'm going back to work. I gotta fix the body. Thank you so much. See, honest opinions. Just walking in the streets, honest opinions. Can't beat that. Ugh. All right. So, like I said, I just think you make things more inclusive. People like cool stuff. Ugh. As you can tell, I'm the first one here at my job. Ugh. All right. I'm going to finish this up. Oh, someone called me. Left me a message. I won't be answering that right now. Ugh. That's how I answer my workday. All right. So, like I said, I think it's great to get more women involved in the fun thing that we do. Hey, remember my password again. I just wish, you know, we get more people involved and people smiling and having a good time and enjoying it. Because, I mean, let's be honest. We're all here for a fun time. We all want people to see all kinds of cool stuff. So, as always, you know, if you see something cool and you think that it's very cool, try to get as many people involved with it as possible. Get the diversity going. I mean, let's make it really diverse. I mean, let's do something that's very cool. I always, my wife Carla and I, when she was alive, we always used to joke with my son Lucas and like, what's it going to be like for him, you know, in 20 years? I mean, what's diversity going to be like? You know, I mean, it's coming. You know, my wife is from Trinidad. I'm from the U.S. You know, we joked our son will wind up marrying some German Japanese girl, and you know that will be very much the norm now. It wouldn't even be slightly like, oh, she's German Japanese. Oh, no surprise. You know, not even a flinch anymore. So I think that's what the world's going to be like. So I think just people just have to understand how they can be. I don't think helpful is the right word, but how can they be more inclusive? Maybe that's the best choice. All right, I'm getting out of here. I got work to do. Talk to y'all later.